What is going on, my beautiful people? Welcome to yet again another episode of the Pivot Mindset Podcast. If you're listening to this episode, you are someone who's interested in making life pivots. And here at Pivot Mindset Podcast, we believe that life is all about the pivots, and those who decide to make life's pivots, they decide to become successful. So take a seat and listen in. Let's dive in. So in this episode, I want to really spend some time talking about the most sexy topic that everybody is always interested in, and not so much. I'm kind of being candor here, but as we prepare for this coming new year, there's something that starts to jump off the page for a lot of people, something that becomes very important to a lot of people who'd like to become a different version of themselves, who would like to really tap into taking that next step in their life. And that thing is the topic of accountability. Yes, we're going to talk about accountability in this episode. I want to take a moment and ask you some questions on your accountability, and really just to get our minds thinking, right? As we're finishing off one year, the year of 2021, and stepping into a new year of 2022. It's crazy to think how fast this year has gone by. But if anything that I know to be true is that for anyone who has accomplished way more than they thought they would, more than likely that person has accepted a level of accountability in their lives. Anyone who has accomplished any kind of significant goal, a goal that may be outside of themselves, a goal that they may have had to stretch or expand their horizon or expand their belief system or push themselves well beyond their comfort zone. If that is you, you're somebody that I bet is likely to have had a healthy level of accountability. And so I want to take a time today to really unpack what accountability is. And I want to encourage you that if you're listening to this episode and you're really trying to make life's pivots, I challenge you today, if you're listening to this episode, I challenge you to decide to commit to having some kind of accountability in your life. This could be accountability partner, like somebody that you actually know. This could be accountability group, someone on maybe social media, a Facebook group. There's a bunch of kind of groups and organizations and websites popping up now as we get prepared for the new year that are helping people hold themselves accountable. Because one thing that I know about goals and accomplishing anything is, again, we have to have a level of accountability typically to hit that, right? So my question to you is, who is holding you accountable for creating a life that you said you would create? Who is holding you accountable for being the kind of person you were placed on earth to be? I don't know anyone on the face of this earth that has been able to create anything significant on an island. No man is an island. No man is all encompassing by himself. But all of us, if you're really serious about the kind of goals that you want to accomplish, and if you're really serious about taking your life to the next level, is you gotta find a way to connect and find an accountability partner. We talked about in a few episodes ago about building your tribe of mentors. This ties right into that because mentors, or some of them can be accountability partners. Not all mentors hold you accountable. Some mentors can just help you flesh out ideas, or mentors will help walk you through things or give you advice, etc. But accountability, right, is when someone holds you to a standard, as well as someone is also let down when you don't hit that target or hit that mark, right? So it's important for us all to have mentors. And when it comes to building our tribe, that's extremely important. But a mentor is only as successful as their ability to hold you accountable. You don't have any mentor in your life that has really probably been able to help you like really hit a next step or a next level in your life, level up truly, if they haven't been or aren't holding you accountable. And the reason why something is a goal is because you don't currently have it, right? I just want to make this super simple. The simple reason why something is a goal, something that you plan and want to prioritize as an accomplishment in your life, AKA a goal, is because you don't currently have it. And if you don't currently have it, that means the present you doesn't have the capacity, skill set, or resources to attain that goal. So what accountability is putting yourself in the position to let someone else down besides yourself. Because for many of us, it can be easy to let ourselves down, to let other people down. And if this is the case, this could mean that you have really severed and broken the trust that you have with yourself. If you are somebody out there and it's extremely easy for you to let yourself down, but it's hard for you to let other people down, I challenge you to really start to think about the relationship that you have with yourself. Did you know that you have a relationship with yourself? And every day that you don't accomplish what you say you want to accomplish, every day that you don't go after your goals, every day that you don't do what you said you would do, you destroy and sever the trust that you have with yourself. And so as you tell yourself, you know what, today I'm going to get up and I'm going to go work out, or I'm going to go to the gym, or I'm not going to drink soda, or I'm not going to watch as much Netflix or TV as I used to. Anytime that you do that and you renege or you don't actually go through with that, you, just like it would be somebody else telling you the same thing, you break and destroy the trust that you have with yourself. And so often for me, when I'm coaching clients, I have to help them rebuild the relationship that they have with their self. Because over time, it's been so deteriorated. Over time, they've defeated themselves so much via mistakes or failures or defeat, that anytime you push and you try to get yourself out of what's normal to really accomplish anything, you can easily settle back into, oh, maybe next year, or maybe tomorrow, or I'll do that the next day, or I'll do that the next week. But I want to hold you all accountable to holding yourselves accountable. And if you can't hold yourself accountable, I'm also going to hold you accountable for getting someone in your life that will today begin to hold you accountable. And so have you ever listened to the way that you talk to yourself? Would you talk to your friends, your loved ones, your spouse, your children, the same way that you talk to yourself? Remember, listen to that internal voice, that negative self-talk, how critical you are of yourself, how hard you are on yourself, how much you talk about yourself. Listen to those words. Would you use those words in that same language to talk to people that are around you? And if you did, how would that relationship go with that other person? Because if your answer is no, if you're saying you would not talk to other people the way that you talk to yourself, ta-da, you have more than likely a fractured relationship with yourself, and you fractured the trust that you have with yourself. And because of that, I'm telling you that it probably means that you don't give yourself enough grace. I talk to way too many people who are so hard on themselves, and they do not give themselves the same kind of grace that they give to other people. And all of this matters when it comes to accountability, because it could be so easy to miss your goals when you aren't letting anyone else down besides yourself. And I repeat again, if it's so easy to let yourself down, it's very important to make sure that you get people that are around you who you then let down, right? Work back to front. If you know it's easy to let yourself down, okay, get the person who it's hardest for you to let down and have that person be the one to hold you accountable. You may be thinking, who is the best person to hold me accountable? That particular person. The person that you would hate to let down, that is the one who you should give your scariest, biggest, deepest, darkest goals to, accomplishments to, because it will make you and fire you up every single day to hold yourself accountable to that said thing, right? So I've got a quick story, man. So about, I would say a little over a year ago, I was in the midst of COVID, in the heart of COVID. I weighed the most that I ever have in my whole entire life. I had primarily been physically active. I played sports all of my life, played football for the most part, pretty active. I would walk my dogs. I would do hikes, but I still somehow, and I know how, because it was COVID and I wasn't getting out much, and I was eating, and, anything that was in reach, I was eating, and we weren't winning in the grocery store. So that's very important if you want to be healthy and live a healthy life, is you got to win first in the grocery store and not bring the stuff home to have temptation. But I found myself weighing the heaviest I've ever weighed in my life. And I began joining a gym group. I joined a gym called Body Rock in Frey, and the folks there. If you're listening, shout out to Body Rock. It's in the Akron, Ohio area in Merriman Valley. I believe the website is just bodyrock.com or something similar to that. But I joined this gym, and the challenging part about the gym was the workouts actually started at 5 a.m. every single morning. And for this, guys, like, this was a significant change in my life. Now, I was fairly an early riser. And when I mean early riser, that's probably waking up at like 6 a.m. every morning, maybe 7 a.m. But to get up to be at the gym at 5 a.m. would mean that I would have to actually wake up at about 4 a.m. The gym was 30 minutes away from my house. And I began to build a habit. And at first, it was very challenging to get up and go to the gym, especially to be there so early. And it wasn't too bad during the nice winter or nice summer and spring months, but in the middle of the winter, when it's freezing or it's snow outside, or it's 20 degrees, 10 degrees, etc., it became very challenging to get up and go to the gym. But this is where I learned accountability in real form, because once I became a member of that gym, I began to build a community at that gym, and I began to almost build a reputation for being there and being a part of the culture there. And people would expect me to show up. And anytime that I did not show up, that next day that I did show up, I would get called out on it. People would say, Justin, where were you at? You're supposed to be here. People joking on me, bragging on me. Like, it just wasn't fun if I didn't show up, what I would have to walk into the next day that I actually would. And that is accountability at its finest, because I then had pain associated with not showing up. And for me, I realized that it was easy for me to let myself down and not go hard, or sometimes not show up for myself when it was just me there. When it was just me going to the regular gym and working out. I call it the regular gym because if you've ever been a part of these workouts, it's extremely intense. But for me to go just to a normal gym and just work out, if I missed that day, I wasn't letting anybody else down besides myself. But when I missed the gym at Body Rock, I was letting down the owner, who was expecting me to be there because I said I would be there and I was paying a monthly membership. I was letting down the members there that I had grew and built great relationships with, because they also expected me to be there. And they expected me to be the kind of person that I said I wanted to be. They held me accountable for the goals that I said that I want to accomplish. We would have to weigh in every single week. We would have to post about what we would eat during the week. We have to post meals and all that stuff. And so that is accountability at its finest. And so any morning that I woke up and I didn't feel like going to the gym, I would be like, dang it, I don't want to let this person down, right? So I would push my way, get up, rush. There were times where I'm rushing to get there and texting the owner like, hey, could you hold me a bike open, or could you keep the door propped open so I can get in? Because it was much bigger than me. It was about who I was letting down. It was about me letting down people who cared just as much as I cared about my goals. And so that 4 a.m. then became a lifestyle. And now for me, I wake up every morning at 4 a.m. because it's what I'm trained to do. It's the habit that I've built. And so I wanted to drop that story because some of you should put yourself in a position that you have other people holding you accountable to accomplish your goal. And when you don't accomplish your goal, you are letting other people down. And if we focus more on the habits, because accountability was only helping me drive out a habit, the habit of getting up early enough to build the muscle to go and work out and push myself almost sometimes what felt like death, pushing myself beyond my limits. And that was a habit that began to get built, and it began to get ingrained in my mind. And my mind began to build these new neural pathways about that habit. And then everything around me just started to adjust. And, I started to make sure that I had my water already set aside, and I had my pre-workout already set aside, and I had my protein shake already set aside and I had my outfit set aside because I knew that I needed to get up and do this workout early in the morning. I didn't need to make a bunch of decisions in the morning, so that I would get up and just go ahead and do it. And so we have to begin to focus on the habits that accountability will help us put in place, right? So your goals would take care of themselves if you could find a way to get to the habit. So let me back up a little bit. So if you would like to have a new goal, if you have a goal in your life, maybe it's a weight goal, or maybe it's a money goal. You want a certain amount of money in the bank, or you've got a goal to spend more time with your friends and family members, etc. Whatever the goal is, you have to first think about the habit that then creates that goal. So if you want more money in the bank, a good habit could be living life on a budget. And it could mean taking out all the frivolous expenses that you have and putting intentionality on where your money is spent and being sure that you set money aside to invest or to save, etc. But to build that habit, because you haven't yet, it means that you need to have somebody holding you accountable to build that habit. So it goes accountability to habit, habit to goal. I'll repeat that again. It goes accountability, having someone hold you accountable to helping you build the habit. And then once you build the habit, then you will accomplish the goal. You see, because our habits are what drives the outcomes or the goals that we're going to actually create. And if I break this down a little further, for example, your net worth is a lagging measure of your financial habits. Your weight is a lagging measure of your eating habits. Your knowledge is a lagging measure of your learning habits, and your clutter is a lagging measure of your cleaning habits. Whatever habit you have, it dictates the kind of goal that you get as a result. And you get what you repeat. You don't get the thing that you do once. If I eat one bad meal today, I will not become overweight, or I will not lose my imaginary six-pack if I eat one bad meal today. But if I eat one bad meal over a series of weeks, absolutely, I will lose my imaginary six-pack, right? And so we get what we repeat. And if you're having struggle with repeating good things in your life, you need to find and identify who your accountability partner is going to be. Now, I'm going to push you because I do not want you to go into 2022 without an accountability partner. Yeah, that's right. I do not want you to go into this new year without having somebody that is holding you accountable to your specific goals. And so right now, as you're thinking about it, as you listen to this episode, begin thinking about the person that you can ask to help hold you accountable. Now, don't make this feel like a school assignment by them holding you accountable, but I'm going to challenge you to set some very actionable pain that's associated with you not accomplishing that goal. That's right. Like, these are things that I actually work on all the time with my coaching clients, right? Because success is boring, and it's boring because you have to be consistent at doing something over and over and over again. Success and habits, they're boring. And I think a lot of people aren't successful in life because they don't get the mundane and the boringness of success. They always got to jump from shiny thing to shiny thing, and they won't concentrate and fixate themselves on one thing, a repeated action, doing the same thing over and over again to build the habit to then create the goal. But it starts with accountability. It starts with, if you cannot hold yourself accountable, that you get somebody in your life to be able to hold you accountable. So I got this pretty cool thing that I do. And I do this often, actually. So I'm going to encourage you with this as well, is identify for you the thing that has a lot of pain associated with it if you lost or you had to give up. So for me, it's money. Yep, that's right. If I lose money, there's a lot of pain associated for me with losing money. But it can't just be any old money. It can't just be $5, $10, $20. There's a real pain associated with me losing $1,000, $2,000, $5,000. So you have to set that loss to you, that loss leader, whatever that thing you would lose, so high that you would have an extreme amount of pain associated with actually losing it. And so if you're somebody that you want to really hold yourself accountable, I would set a number. And again, for me, it's money, and it often is the same for a lot of people. But I will set a number for you that would be extremely painful if you had to just give up. And you set a goal with your accountability partner, and you let them know that, hey, if I do not accomplish this goal, I will have to pay you $1,000, $5,000. However important this goal is to you, make the money hurt. It could be 100, whatever hurts to you. It's all relative to whoever's listening to this episode. But whatever amount of money hurts to you, you set that being the accountability standard or the wage that you would lose as a result of you not accomplishing that goal. I remember I set this with a group of friends a while ago, and I believe we set a weight loss goal. And I believe we said we wanted to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks. And we all got super intense. And I believe if we didn't hit the goal, I want to say we had to pay $250 or $500 or something like that. And it was super intense. Like up until the last minute, we were every single day going hard, going all in, because we did not want to lose that money that we placed on as a wager. And so identify for yourself, what is that to you? It could be money. It could be free time. It could be time with a friend. It could be not being able to go out. It could be not being able to buy the pair of shoes that you want, right? But if you don't lose something, it's going to be very hard for you to accomplish that goal as well. So for your accountability partner, you don't just want them teaching you or texting you, hey, did you do this yet? Or hey, did you do that yet? But have your accountability partner make a deal with them that if you do not accomplish this goal, that they will receive X amount of dollars as a result. Okay. So I wanted to give you that, man. Today, really, this episode, I really wanted to spend some time with accountability because it is such an important thing. And I believe in our day and age, in our culture, there's so many people out there that think that life should be done on an island, and that we often don't want to have people hold us accountable, right? Because when you set a goal, you also set parameters for failure. When you set an intention, when you set a mark, an accomplishment, when you put something out there that you will do, as a result, you too set a metric for failure. If I set a goal to lose 100 pounds and I don't lose the 100 pounds, I've now set a goal that anything under 100 pounds is failure, right? If I want to save $1,000 and I don't save $1,000, saving $900 is the metric for failure. So don't let not wanting to fail stop you from actually creating the goal, right? And as we get ready for this new year, everybody is new year, new me, right? And I love it. I'm not gonna downplay or down talk anybody that's trying to be the best version of themselves, that's trying to really take their life to the next level. That's what this podcast is all about, is making life pivots. We want to help people make the transitions and the changes in life that they know they need to make to be who they know they're called to be on earth, right? It's time to make the pivots. And if you want to make life's pivots today, if you want to be serious about the kind of change that you incorporate in your life, find your way to get some accountability. Find your way to get an accountability partner. Find a way to tell everybody around you about your goals. The reason why you aren't able to accomplish your goals is because you're not telling enough people. Enough people don't know about what you're trying to accomplish. You're trying to do all this stuff in secrecy, and you're trying to do all this stuff behind the scenes. But when you fail, nobody really knows. And then you continue to build and break apart the trust that you have with yourself. So be audacious about your goals. Be bold about your goals and what you want to accomplish, and allow people to take part in that goal. Post it on Facebook and ask people to hold you accountable. Post it on social media, TikTok, Instagram, etc., and ask people to hold you accountable to that set goal. And that's all I got for you today. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for, continuing to listen to this podcast. As always, I'm going to ask that you guys continue to give us ratings and reviews, whether you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or YouTube. You can find this video form on YouTube as well. And continue to share this. We would love for you to continue to share this podcast. And as we always say, life is all about the pivots. And those who decide to make life's pivots, they decide to be successful. Peace.